So will cleaning my engine hurt it? That's the question that I'm out to answer today. I think it's a very valid question, definitely from the perspective of, if you've never done this kind of thing before, it's a good question to ask, and you always want to do as much research as you can before jumping into a project that you've never done before. Also, I think it's a legitimate fear that people have that stems from the early days of car manufacturing, back when they weren't great at doing moisture barriers, when you had exposed wires, when you had poorly engineered mechanical parts, those kind of things. Today I want to alleviate those fears or any fears that you may have and show you how to safely clean an engine from start to finish. So let me go ahead and preface by saying all GUNK engine degreasing products. There are other products, other degreasers out there that may not be able to make this claim, but all the GUNK engine degreasing products are completely safe for all under the hood surfaces. So any plastic, rubber, your rubber hoses, your metal, it will not etch aluminum, it will not do any of that, it will not harm or break down any of your plastics. Completely safe for all under the hood surfaces. Before you start, if you're cleaning your engine at home like I am today, then be sure to lay down some kind of collection mat like this one. This is to catch all that runoff from your engine as you're washing it off. A second option would be just to clean your engine at a self car wash. Alright, so I'm going to show you step by step how to clean your engine. So first thing we want to do is just kind of inspect to see if there's any kind of loose debris, leaves, squirrel's nests, bird's nests, that kind of stuff. Just go and get that out of the way because it'll just make it a lot easier. Next thing you want to do is inspect and see if you have any kind of oil leaks or any of that kind of stuff. If you see an oil leak, just make a note of it, and that way after you clean the engine and get all that junk off of there, then it kind of help you diagnose if it's a current leak or if it's maybe an old leak that isn't leaking. You can kind of gauge and see if it comes back and whatnot. The next area that is a common concern for folks is the alternator. You can do one of two things. You can just be careful when you're around it, or you can cover it up with a plastic bag. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cover it up with a plastic bag. The next area is the computer box here, the ECU. Just make sure that it's closed tightly. These things are weather sealed, so just make sure it's tight. The next area is your air exchanger, your air box here. This is on the Jeeps, they call these a snorkel. It's not really a snorkel, but it's generally good to just kind of be careful around these. You don't want to fill this box full of water. So you can either put a little plastic bag if you're concerned, or just be careful. I'm just going to be careful for the purpose of this video. The next thing you want to look for is any kind of exposed wiring for accessories, that kind of stuff. So I got a lot of accessories. It's kind of a rat's nest here going on. So these are for KC lights. This is a battery charger for the winter, all that kind of stuff. So this I'm going to kind of bypass for washing. If you just have just a regular old power starter kind of stuff, you don't have to disconnect the battery or anything. I've never done that. But just be careful. I'm just going to be careful around this stuff, so I'm just not going to hose it down. I'm just going to kind of pull it out. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and hose this sucker down. So we're going to start, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use our foamy product. It's just easier to film. I'm going to use this. This one's designed for engines with a lot of plastic on it. This engine doesn't have a lot of plastic, but it'll help you guys see where I'm spraying everything. And then we're going to follow up with our engine protector shine, which is our detailer product. So this is the one that we're going to finish off everything with. So let's go and get started. Powerful. Good, man. Doing that. You may or may not need to use the entire can. I think I've used so far, this may be about half the can. It feels like it's about half full. So I may get another clean after that. So you want to let this sit for 5 to 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and I'll come back in about 5 minutes and we'll continue. Alright, so we're back. I brought a rag. Sometimes it's good to just go ahead and agitate some areas you may have to do a little double spray. There's some areas that you think that the degreaser didn't get too good the first time. Just kind of agitate a little bit. So one thing you want to make sure that before you clean your engine anytime is just make sure that the whole thing is cool to the touch. As you can see here, the engine isn't like fuming. I'm not working on a hot engine, so you just want to work on a cool engine so you don't burn yourself, or you know, this is aerosolized products. You don't want to catch something on fire. If your engine has a lot of plastic stuff on it, a lot of plastic coverings, that's what this foam is designed primarily for. But it'll work in our scenario, so you can see where I'm spraying. But I'm agitating it in some just to get some spots because I'm a little picky. And I want it to look nice. So next thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and rinse everything off. So what we're going to do here is just get a regular old garden hose. It's actually good not to have a pressurized, using a pressure washer, high pressure, because then you could spray water in, really pressurized water in the areas that you may not want to get water. So just a regular old garden hose works. If you have a head on it, that works too. That's fine. You can do a mist spray. If you are at a car wash, then just use one of the low pressure settings. Just don't push down the handle is typically how most of those work. And you just kind of mist it and spray off everything. So from here you'll be able to see pretty immediately if you miss some spots. That's where you just go and you just touch them up. There's a couple spots that I missed. Didn't get it too good. Use this around little cracks and stuff. This is when it comes down to a little bit of personal preference if you like it super duper clean. If you're super picky, then I'd recommend getting some detailing brushes and really working in there. I'm just kind of going, for time's sake, just kind of getting some of the key areas that I think are important, the visible stuff. I clean the engine pretty regular, so this thing isn't super duper dirty. Though for a fact I didn't get down here too well. Alright. So as you can see, I'm not concerned about any kind of overspray. It is safe on your paint, so you don't have to worry about that. Alright. So I got everything that I wanted to get. So we're going to let this just dry. Another thing you can do if you're you know, you want it to dry a little bit quicker, you could park in the sun, pop the hood in the sun, let the sun kind of dry out, evaporate the water on the engine. You can also crank up your engine just to let the motor kind of warm up a little bit, and that'll help evaporate water in some of the little places where water will pool. So it's important, you want to make sure that you get off the degreaser, otherwise you're going to smell like, you could smell like a degreaser burning smell. So if you do smell that and you just didn't get it all off and it's pulled up somewhere, so you want to make sure that that's the rinsing part is kind of the important part, to make sure you get all the you know, all the degreaser, the cleaner off of the engine before you move on. So I'm fairly confident I got all of it, so we're just going to kind of let it roll. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the plastic bag now. I'll show you the alternator. So you can see the alternator, it's dry. We kept it dry, everything is wet. I'm pretty confident that I got everything that I wanted to get. As you can see, I just kind of bypassed this little area a little bit. I'll get it a little bit later. So as you can see, I got a lot of all the dirt and road grime off. It's tons better. So we're just going to wait a little while, let this sucker dry off. Then I'll show you how to use this product, how to detail it, finish it off. So I'm going to go ahead and crank it up and let it kind of warm up and clean this off, dry it up a little quicker. Runs like a champ. No issues. Not spluttering. Start it up. Not any problems. So I'm going to show you this. I think you can see it. Steam coming off the motor as it's heating up. This is actually what you do want if you're trying to just dry it off faster. So this isn't engine smoke. This is just a little bit of evaporation happening. The engine's getting warm. Depending on the age of your belt, getting it wet, you might hear a few little squeaks. That's kind of typical as it's just kind of burning off the moisture, same as if you started up on a cold morning and it has water on it. Alright, so we're going to go and do the Shine product. What you're going to want now is a clean, dry towel, just a shop towel, just something to kind of wipe down everything. And what I like to do, instead of just spraying the whole thing down, is do a little bit of selective spraying. Just kind of spray some of the black plastics that I want to shine. And the neat thing about this product, if you did miss any spots, this product really helps you hide some of that. Helps you kind of, oh, it's still warm in that spot. Okay, so it helps you kind of hide some of the, if you missed any spots. Then just wipe it down. This will give it a nice satin finish. Any places that's very wet looking, it will lay down after a little while. After a couple hours, it'll lay down and come to the same finish. I like to just wipe it down. Alright, so we're done cleaning the Jeep for today. Hopefully I answered any questions that you may have, alleviated some fear on whether or not it is safe or not to clean your engine bay. The biggest thing is just use a little common sense whenever you're rinsing off the engine. Anything that you're a little nervous about, just kind of take your time around. There's no rush to doing this, and it's a little bit of personal preference on how clean you do want it. If you do want to go down into the nitty-gritty of the engine, climb up underneath, then you may need to get some scrub brushes or detail brushes or something like that. But hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, or if you want to see another video pertaining to any of this. And other than that, we'll see you in the next video.